9-team regatta systems. Take advantage of automated progressions.
Well, hello again. What great racing we have. I'm here with my two colleagues, Mark Hyatt and Nancy Storrs. Great call on that last race, Nancy. Very exciting. So we're into the stock car racing events, as we call them, the lightweights. These people have had to weigh in less than 2 hours prior. 61.5 kilograms for the women and 75 kilograms for the men. So just outstanding. So up next, we have the under 19 men's lightweight version of that, and 18 competitors, biased to Canada and the United States. McGregor Oakneck Rowing from the United States, representing three of the U.S. athletes, two Brock University athletes, a number of St. Catharines Rowing Club athletes. I see Georgian Bay, I see Don Rowing Club, but here we have it, two countries. The age of these athletes range from 16 through to 18, and you'll see the yellow they're the lightweight men, and men's under 19, the two racers, Kyle Tanianis and the other gentleman, and that's what will start the race. Mark, who to watch for?
Well, Ryan, it's an interesting field. They're all relatively new to the sport because of their age, and when you look across, there's a few that have experience rowing on the water. Pierce Elms from Oakneck Racing in the USA. Let's keep an eye on him. There's a couple other clubs. Port Jefferson and Oakneck have the athletes from the States, so I would watch these young guys. And then across our spectrum of the Canadian clubs, Don Rowing, Norton Vineland, I see Brock, as you say, Brock, it's going to be interesting, hard to call, Nancy.
Peter.
So Nancy, one of the watch for from Oakneck is Nicholas Arano. He's a winner of the Head of the Charles and 2019 U.S. champion. So they're ready to go. So Nancy, why don't you start us off here? They've got the attention.
If you're looking at the screen, you will see two of the boats in red. They happen to be from the under 19 event that happened just earlier, and so those results have not been posted as official results yet because these two have to be added to those results. So this is generally the lightweight men under 19, but we have two additionals of the under 19 open weight category. So here they go through the 100-meter mark, and they're starting to sort out, and we're going to really see who can start to find that pace. Again, under 19 tends to have a little more excitement, a little more aggressiveness at the beginning, and we'll see who is going to pace themselves really well in this race. Again, it's mainly Canadians and Americans if you look carefully, and I think that's partially those who have missed the high school season and they're really looking forward to the future of racing, hopefully this spring and definitely this summer. We've got a number of rowers from all over North America in this race, just U.S. and Canada. And right now, Brandon Fernandez has moved into a slight lead, but he is still sitting at a 139, and we'll see who can start to pace themselves through the body. Lachlan Paragord, Preston Darling, Owen's brother, did very well earlier, Maddox Harrison, James Work from up in the Midland area. We have a good field here. They're starting to spread out now as they come through the 400-meter mark, and we're really going to see who can come through this. Again, we had a few U.S. rowers who have great pedigree. I'm waiting to see what they can do now in the second half of this race. And over to you, Mark.
So we pick it up, Nancy, going into the second 5, and look how it's starting to spread. Brandon has asserted his stamp on the race. He's holding on to 140 splits. He will finish with a sub 630 perhaps. He's really moving. Look at the groups who are racing in the middle. Maddox Harrison, James Rourke, Chris Gomez, all within a few meters of each other. Then there's Mark Whitaker and Owen Hughes battling it out. Owen just stepped up. Owen Nichols and Josh Lang just behind there. As mentioned earlier, these are young kids really getting their first racing experience, and they will learn from this. Often in the sport of indoor rowing, flat water, it would be true as well. You can go out aggressively and pay in the later part of the race. Here, the goal is, and they're all being coached this way, try and be steady and within yourself in the middle, the second 500, the third 500 of the race. And for the most part, it looks like they have all established a steady pace. I'm seeing Brandon, he's just rowing strong, and it looks like he wants to hold on to that low 140 split. Lachlan Perigord and Preston Darling are competing for those podium spots. 22 meters and 31 meters back, but they're close to one another, rowing at 144. So that's a fast pace. And then the groups in the middle, all of them are watching their meters, and we're over into the 1,000 for the third 500, Nancy.
They really are spreading themselves out a little bit here, but let's see in this third 500 who can pace themselves. Who has done the smartest race plan? Brandon Fernandez still sitting at about a 141. He's trying to hold on to it, but I see those numbers creeping up just a little bit. And let's see. I see Preston Darling and Chris Gomez sitting solid at 42 and 43, split 142 and 143. So they're staying pretty steady. Let's see if they can pace themselves down as they come into this third quarter of the race. Really solid. We see a really good battle between Maddox Harrison and Matthew Johnston, though. Those two are paddling out from that 5th and 6th position, and just behind them is James Rourke. So it's going to be a real chase. Don't forget, they're watching the monitor to see who is slightly ahead of them, who is slightly behind. And then it's a question, are they following their race plan, or are they following who's ahead and who can they catch? Because that is a different type of plan. You tend to go out a little harder than you want to, and sometimes you don't have that final sprint that we see on some of these rowers. I mean, we've seen a couple of finishes change just in the last 10 strokes because they have fantastic finishes. And there are those who train to negative split, meaning they do better in the second half of the race than the first half. And then there are those who tend to go out hard, hoping that they can hang on for dear life at the end. So here they go towards the last 500. Brandon's still in the lead, and he's, in fact, stretching it out a little bit. He's up to 39 meters ahead. And over to you, Mark.
And here we go. The young fellas are bringing home the Canadian Indoor Rowing Championships for us. They're the final race of the day, and they are sprinting now. Brandon Fernandez, 35 strokes a minute, under 140. Watch those splits on the right. On the right, you can see who's pushing. They're all racing now. We have a great race for the podium spots. 9, 5, and 4, which is Lachlan, Chris, and Preston. They are competing all out, these young fellas right now. And then slightly behind, Matthew Maddox, James Rourke. All of these kids are perhaps having national team aspirations, or they're just getting their first experience, and what a race to do so and put their sort of stamp on this is for me. 250 to go. We have 25 strokes remaining for the crowd. So now it's time to open it up. Brandon is pushing through. Rates up to 40. Those who've been on the indoor rower know that's an effort. And he sees the finish in sight. Brandon is bringing it home, and Chris Gomez and Lachlan Perigord are now locked in their own final few strokes of the race. Chris right up to 43. He is just leaving it all out there. 640, 651. These times breaking 7 minutes are very fast for these young men who are competing today for us. And the field, Owen Hughes and James Rourke, they have their own race coming into the finish, and they know it, and they're pushing. And next up, Mark Whitaker, Nicholas Cronus, sprinting to the line, 30 strokes, 139s. Just the way they bring down at the end, it's so fun to watch. And Jay McGregor, Owen Nichols comes in as well, and each one of these are leaning back, boy, when they're through that sprint at the end. And Anthony Duco, Josh Lung coming through, and Pierce coming through into the finish as well. Let's look across the range. We have 6 boats, 5 boats sub 7, and most of the field under 7:30. Just a great, exciting race, Nancy.
Well, to see a time that's down to 6:40 is pretty impressive for that, because that's under 19 lightweights. Fantastic result, really. And I mean, all of these rowers have been training on their own. They're not used to not having the team atmosphere. So it's really a totally different atmosphere with this pandemic, where they've been training at home. As a mature athlete, they know what their training program's like. They've been doing it for years. Many of them have been doing it for years. Or they're into fitness and they just have different apps that they're using. Whereas these high school rowers, they're all doing it because they think they've got a season ahead and they're really getting ready for that. So it's pretty impressive to see how many of them were under 7 minutes in that under 19 light men. Great
That's
race.
right, Nan. That's right, Nancy. And we're going to now break for a little advertisement. So, Concept 2, bring it on. Thank you.